What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. We talk about all the time about how many weapons or how much, talent the Clippers have as a team, as an organization, and, how well put together they are as an organization, from top to bottom. But, their best kept secret really might be in this player that I'm about to talk about now that nobody is thinking about or that nobody really knows about or knows of too well. And if you watched my channel before, of course, you've heard me speak on him a couple times, but I definitely think he could be a best kept secret for them, throughout the season and possibly in the playoffs for them to pull a hat trick on somebody and voila, have another offensive weapon that other teams are not even preparing for. And the player I'm talking about is Amir Coffey. And Amir Coffey, to me, he's going to come off the bench. Of course, he's not going to get a whole lot of minutes, but I think the minutes that he will get, he will definitely shine in those minutes because a lot of times when Amir Coffey comes in the game going into this season, they're probably going to be in a situation where they're tied or the game is close, or sometime maybe the Clippers might have a big substantial lead or something like that. But either way, I think Amir Coffey's production will only rise in regards to his gameplay. And I feel like he's not going to get a lot of minutes, too many minutes this year because, they're just so stacked from top to bottom. But I think that he could be one of those weapons that they utilize in a stretch of the season where, Kawhi, PG might need a little bit of rest. There might be some, possible load management. There could be some, just guys resting just because, just because they come off, big injuries, things like that. And, rotational players, he can definitely find himself getting minutes, maybe, more minutes than he even thinks that he will get, because I think Ty Lue really likes him. Of course, he likes every player on his team, likes what they have to bring. It's the reason why they're actually on the Clippers, of course. But I think he likes Amir Coffey in regards to being a very huge surprise. Being at the bottom of his bench, this guy comes in last year, has several, 30-point games and showed not only, Ty Lue, but showed the whole organization that they have a piece in him that can come off the bench that can really, shock a lot of people. Because, when we talk about, Terrence Mann's breakout game was the game against Utah in the playoffs where he dropped 39 points and the Clippers won that game and ended up winning the series because the Clippers were down like 25 in that game. And Terrence Mann came off the bench and gave a surprise outing, which put the Clippers in position to move forward, move on to the next round. And I feel like Amir Coffey can do that same type of thing. He can almost mimic that same type of role or type of situation where the Clippers might just take a chance and, Ty Lue might take a chance and throw him in there and see what he's got because the Clippers aren't playing good as a team. They're not, playing the way they're supposed to. They're not gelling. They're not, on one accord at the moment. And the other team could possibly be up by, 10, 15 points. And then I could see Ty Lue in a situation saying, hey, Amir, come off the bench. And he comes in there and he just, erupts for 20 plus points, 30 plus points possibly, or whatever the case may be, erupt with 15, 20 plus points. The point is, I could see him doing the same thing that Terrence Mann did in that Utah game. I can definitely see Amir Coffey playing that same type of role. I can definitely see him coming up big for the Clippers when it's so unexpected and it's so very needed at that time. Because that's exactly what Terrence Mann did, and that's exactly how I think Terrence Mann gained a name with Clippers Nation, more so of a name with Clippers Nation because of, what he did in a big moment where nobody expected it. And that's the same way I feel about Amir Coffey, along with Brandon Boston Jr., of course, too, because Brandon Boston, BBJ is definitely, the real deal. No doubt about that. But we all kind of knew that he was the real deal. Looking at him in last summer league and, being drafted and everything. I remember making a video on him talking about how much of a steal he was for the Clippers to, pick up a player like him. So he's definitely the future of the Clippers, if you ask me. But Amir Coffey can definitely be a part of their future too, because the guy has a lot of upside. The guy has a lot of talent, and His numbers may not speak highly in regards to his talent, but you have to understand he's on a team with full of talent besides himself, and these guys are better than him. I mean, it's just the way it is. There's always somebody on your team better, but this team has so much talent around the board. There's no way he would start over any of these players. But regardless of that, it doesn't mean he can't make an impact. And I think he will make an impact, for the Clippers if they continue to, believe in him, utilize him as needed, and allow him to flourish, which I think Ty Lue will definitely do that. Ty Lue definitely has a plan in place for every player on his roster. I feel like he's just one of those type coaches because, as I said before, when it comes to in-game adjustments, things like that, Ty Lue is really good at things like that, and he always has been. And the way Ty Lue sees the game, I feel like even when he was a player back on the Lakers way back in the day with Shaq and Kobe, I felt like the way he played the game is the same way he coaches it. He sees the game and played it from a different angle to be effective, even though he wasn't the most athletic or the most dominant scorer in the league or anything like that. He was a really great role player, and he played his role to perfection because he didn't do nothing outside of his means. But when there were times for him to step up and maybe knock down big shots, or, whatever the case may be, he was available to do that, and he never was afraid of the moment. And I feel like the type of players that he drafts, the type of players that he likes on his roster is players that have the same mentality that he did, the never die mentality, and fearless of the moment, and go out there and give it your all, and have fun while you're doing it, but also execute the plan. And that's the way he was basically taught in that system with Phil Jackson, Shaq, and Kobe. So he implemented that with his own thoughts and turned himself into a coach. And now those are the type of players I feel like that he likes to have on his roster. Because when you think about Terrence Mann, Luke Kennard, when you think about the other guys on the Clippers, they have no fear in going out there playing. Brandon Boston, any of them, all his players go out there and play with no fear, leave it all out there on the line, and they play at a very, very, good level to high level. And that's what's allowed them to have the success that they've had, whether they had Kawhi or, PG on the floor or not, they still, found themselves in good position because of the mentality that the players that they have on that team plays with. And I think that's what gives them the mental advantage over every other team. Everybody on the Clippers that you watch plays has moments where they just really play fearless. They don't really, care about the numbers. Oh, I'm efficient, I'm this, I'm that, but they play with the mindset of the next shot is going in, we'll be fine, we still go win this game. And that's the way you want any player on your roster to feel and play, in the type of, confidence and, confident level you want your players to have. Because the coach has the confidence in the players, and vice versa. They have that type of, thought and process of Ty Lue as well. They got the same confidence in him as well. He's a fearless coach. He'll definitely try anything. So I definitely think, the Clippers are, the team to beat, possibly in the West, but we'll see, how that, pans out. But I still think to make the story, unfold the correct way, I think that Amir Coffey is definitely going to find himself in good position to execute plays a lot, better in regards to give himself more. He's going to have more opportunities to score easier because of all the talent that's on the floor. Whenever he is on the floor, his job might be easier than what people think, because he's going to get more wide open shots than probably anybody on the floor besides, maybe Brandon Boston or somebody like that, because those players are not really known around the NBA, or, they're not really, their names are not exercised around the NBA a lot. Now, of course, Terrence Mann and Luke Kennard, those two young guys are a little bit different. They've been in the league a little bit, not long, but I'm saying their name is kind of more exercised as the Clippers bench. The Clippers bench the last couple seasons has really consisted of those two highly. So now you add Brandon Boston and Amir Coffey to that mix. Now they got a bench mob coming off the bench, where now they got four scorers, four guys that can come off the bench and knock down shots and score, and not too shy on defense either. So I mean, it just shows how deep this team is. But shout out to Amir Coffey. I hope he has a great season. I hope he stays healthy along with everybody else, and see where it takes him. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.